going on, Internet? It's been a little while since I've done a Dungeons & Dragons video that wasn't just a live playthrough or some kind of product or launch review. And I want to get back into doing actual D&D content, things like video or things like guides and class reviews, and just kind of going over the stuff that people may have potential issues with. I started a D&D 101 series back in 2015, if you can believe it, in October, with a simple video asking you guys, if you're new to Dungeons & Dragons, what questions do you have? How can I help you to answer those? And by all means, I'm not the end-all be-all on Dungeons & Dragons. There's a lot of other channels that do the same thing. But I wanted to reach out personally to all of you. And I will re-extend that invitation as the channel has grown substantially in the past almost 2.5, 3 years. So we reach a larger audience. So again, new Dungeon Masters, veteran Dungeon Masters, new players, old players. Are there things in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition that don't make sense to you, that you don't understand, or you've heard mentioned and you're curious what it is? Let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll be able to answer those. This started back as simply as, what is Unearthed Arcana? People heard me reference it, and they see it all around the internet. Unearthed Arcana this, Unearthed Arcana that. Things kind of changed when Dungeons & Dragons was doing weekly releases of Unearthed Arcana content. Everybody was covering it, so there was a ton of stuff coming out. But when it was just monthly, people were like, what is this? So I did a whole video on just what that is. And then I did other videos on things I've seen a lot of people in my campaign or in other campaigns trip up, like how actions and bonus actions work, how concentration checks work, components, what an object interaction is, how surprise rounds work, some things that are really like silly little things like, did you know that there's a way that you can recover? There's a specific mechanic in 5th edition for recovering arrows that you've shot, or missiles, or if you shoot crossbow bolts or shoot arrows with your ranger, rogue, or what have you. There's a mechanic in the player's handbook that tells you how you can recover arrows that you shot and how many you can get back. It's in there. But that's one of those things I feel like when most people read through the player's handbook, they just gloss over. And so I did a video on it because it was something cool and I thought it was interesting and maybe you guys would want to know. So I'm going to re-extend, like I said, that invite. If you have questions or things you want me to clear up, I think the next one I'm going to be doing is hiding and stealth versus perception, as that one has kind of plagued everybody since the beginning of 5th edition. The way the rules were written are a little wonky. Like, you can hide, but if you know that someone's there, then they can't hide unless they can. It's complicated, and I'll make a whole video about it. But it seems like a lot of newer folks have made their way to the channel through my character building videos, because that's a way for people to identify with a pop culture character that they're familiar with and say, oh, that's really cool. I was trying to build a samurai, or I was trying to build, like a vampire hunter or something like that. And you did it, so now I can see how that goes. And I don't use typically homebrew stuff too much, other than a couple of magic items here and there, and I use point buy for those, so that kind of makes it somewhat attainable if you wanted to try to emulate that character, and that's drawn a lot of new people in. But I've noticed that some of these new people are new, and I've encountered people at conventions that are brand new. Like, I sat down at a table on an Adventures League game. This is the first time these people had ever even picked, they didn't even have dice. Like, they had a pre-gen character that they picked up off the table, and they sat down with no idea how it worked. I gave them their first dice, and that really inspired me to want to help the new players. So again, let me know if you have questions, new players, but I'm going to be starting a series where I go through very basic stuff that I'm sure a lot of you guys will probably just, and you can feel free to click away from those videos, don't even watch them, but like, how you build a character in 5th edition. I did a what you need to get started as a player and what you need to get started as a DM, but that was more materials. I'm going to be like, let's build a character together. We'll go into the player's handbook. We'll look at the basic rules online. We'll go through what's on the character sheet, what different things mean, where you can find them, and we'll go through and do little bits of a character building to just help those new folks along. And then my goal is, after I finish that little short series, is again to continue with the 101 series. But I also, it kind of sparked from a conversation mid game episode the other night. I want to get back into class reviews. I had actually filmed probably 2 years ago. I did a whole Bard review and a whole Barbarian review. I filmed the entire thing. They were like 2 hours. We went through literally everything that was to happen. And obviously that's changed now as more subclasses have come out and continue to come out. And the game's also gotten older. There's new monsters and new enemies. So things that may have seemed super good in 2015 may not be that great in 2018. Or may not be as good, or a ruling came out from Wizards of the Coast that says, like, this doesn't work the way we thought it used to. And, like, quick example, way back in the day, it was, in, like, 2015, Paladin Aura Protection, the one that gives you Charisma modifier to your saving throws, that's stacked way back when. It was, like, I think everybody was like, yeah, that does stack. And then they obviously made it better so that it doesn't. But anyway, things like that. So I'm going to be going through that series, and I'm going to be doing class reviews, you know, so you want to play a barbarian, and then go through all of that stuff. And I don't think I want to do that just myself talking to you guys. I think I'd like to do that as more of like a panel, not necessarily a podcast, but I'll get some of my friends from, whether they're my in real life friends or some of my friends you've seen on my various other streams, and we'll sit down and we'll just discuss mechanics of the class and what works well and what doesn't work well, and kind of put that out there for you guys to see. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a short little update on that, and to hold out new players, there's content coming for you guys, and veteran players, there's stuff for you as well. And then again, to open the door, is there anything you'd like to see me cover going forward? Let me know, and I will do my best to deliver on that. And again, we'll also be looking into doing more, getting back to doing the DMs Guild reviews, and also an open invitation for DMs Guild content creators to submit to me a request to review your content and do a video about it to try to drive traffic that way. So, anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this weird little update video, and yeah, I'll see you next time.